Yo, what's up? This is Knowledge. Back in the place to be. Well, on a lunchtime trip again. Since I got a request to do another. Turn this radio down. Since I got a request to do another lunchtime vlog, I thought I'd do it. So here we go. I know the last time I talked about Christians, but this time I want to talk about wisdom real quickly. Last night I had a 2-hour conversation with my mom. I talked to my mom 4 to 5 to 6 times a day about absolutely nothing. You know what I mean? But I talked to my mom, and I was talking to her about wisdom and knowledge. Okay, here's the difference between wisdom and knowledge. Well, first off, we were talking. I read her some scriptures from King Solomon. It's in the Apocrypha. This is a book that got left out of the King James version of the Bible, but it's the Wisdom of Solomon. And Solomon was regarded as like the most wisest man in the world. He could speak to the animals. He knew about astrology, about marine life, war. Anything you wanted to know, he knew. He asked God for those types of that type of information and wisdom on those types of things. And what I was explaining to my mom was that the difference between knowledge and wisdom is that you have a lot of people. It kind of goes back to a song I made called Educated Fools. It's a lot of people that's out here that, man, they've been to school for 10, 15 years and they know a lot of things, but let's just call it what it is. They're dumb. Because if you can know a lot of things, but if you don't know how to apply those things, which is where wisdom comes in at, then what good is it? I mean, what good is having money if you foolish, if you're not wise with what you have? How do you maintain relationships with people if you're not wise with the words that you choose or how you treat them? How can you build anything without wisdom? So just because you know a lot of things or you obtain a lot of knowledge doesn't mean that you particularly have wisdom in order to sustain those things. So I told my mom, I'm gonna tell you, well, like for 1 year straight, and I still do it, but for 1 year straight, man, when I was going through a transition point, like I say around 4 or 5 years ago, I was going through a transition point, and I really had to mature. And I asked God, of course we all in need of physical things and material things, but I didn't ask God for those types of things. I prayed for knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. And knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, those, I knew that I can get the knowledge. I can obtain knowledge. It's so easy. You go out here and you find out things out on your own. But what I really was trying to get from God is the wisdom and the understanding part, on how to become a better person. Still working on it today, becoming a better person. But wisdom was the key. And after a year or so of just like really praying for those types of things, or praying for that in specific, I grew immensely. It let me know who to cut off. For real, who to cut off as friend wise, where to stop going, what to say, how to approach situations. And I'm not 100%, like I told y'all last time, I'm not 100% on how to do all these things. I'm not a master of it, but I am, more equipped to handle what God has blessed me with, like far as the knowledge of, finances. Once I get it, I know how to, hold on to it. I know what to spend. I know what to do. And, I know not to want everything that my eyes see, because that's just like, a fainting moment, it's impulsive. That's how so many people, they get money, but they broke, or they have friends, but they misuse their friends, or they have family members, but they don't know how to treat them, or they have talent and they not wise enough to know how to pursue their talents, or they always asking other people what they should do, where all you got to do is ask God, for the wisdom of how to do these things. Now, here's the real special thing I learned. God is not going to give you like all the answers. He's not. You know what I mean? He's not going to give you all the answers. There's some things you got to find out for your own. But when you pray for the wisdom and the understanding part, those mysteries of the things that you want to know will become unlocked. That's the beauty of living, and that's the beauty of life. You can't look to God for all the answers because he's placed it for you to, he knows that we're going to make mistakes, and he knows that, we're going to probably mess up and backslide or whatever the case may be. But he also gives us that rope that once we are wise enough to know better, we kind of chill out and we stop, And that's what the conversation was with my mom. So I want to kind of relate to y'all today. Just because you know a lot or you know somebody, don't be envious of what a person has obtained educationally wise through the system of what we live at today. Because what I found out, I know some very, very, very knowledgeable people, okay, but they're dumb. They're dumb. They're the dumbest people. They don't have the common sense. You know what I'm saying? They don't have basic wisdom, and I'd rather be a person that's, like I am, But then I know some people that's very book knowledgeable that have wisdom, and and then I know a lot of people that's very wise, untraditional, and that's where I am. I'm wise from the untraditional aspect. I didn't need to, do what a lot of other people needed to do in order to obtain knowledge and retain it and apply it in a wise way, or to teach someone, or to share with someone. So once you pray and obtain wisdom, then that's the key to unlocking, I believe, your potential, whatever that may be, whatever your calling may be, whatever your goal may be, because you're going to be at that point, steps going to come to you on how to pursue what you need to do. So, in a nutshell, the conversation with my mom, we were just talking about, how, once you obtain wisdom, how it's going to go ahead, it's going to affect everything around you, how you're going to see things, how you're going to see the world a lot different, how you're going to see people and places a lot different. And you're going to be counted out when you're really wise. You're going to sometimes stick out like a sore thumb to folk, because they're going to be like, what's wrong with X? What's wrong with this person? What's wrong with XYZ? Or blah 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 blah, because they're not there yet. So there's nothing wrong if do not just do what everyone else is doing. That's really just trying to obtain all this knowledge and all this knowledge, material things, wealth, accumulation of everything and anything, and doing this and doing that, keeping up with everybody else, and look at me, gimme, got, and all that. Stop doing all that if you ain't gonna even obtain wisdom, because you're wasting your time, because you're gonna lose it. Again, we got to remember that we're not living for really this world. We living for what's to come. And I think, as human beings, we get caught up in what in our daily routine, and our struggles, and what's right before us on our plate. And that's understandable. But know that there's more, and there's more to come. We're being prepared for something greater. So you got to ask God for what what he has more precious than rubies, is wisdom. So this is knowledge coming at you, and that's why I call myself knowledge. But knowledge ain't nothing without no wisdom, So, I thank God daily, and I love him dearly for what the wisdom that he's given me. He don't have to give me nothing else. Fuck material shit. I need it, but he's given me enough, and wisdom is the crown jewel. So to all my people out there, this knowledge just getting at you one more time because you requested it, and I get with you next time. Peace.